Well, I mean, it has the makings of a really good one this weekend.
Yeah, it's a massive game in terms of. I really want to look forward to. I'm really excited about looking into the game. The fans, the crowd, the size of Portsmouth as a football club, where we both are in the league. I think it's a great game. I think it's good that we're back at home. Obviously, we've only picked up 1 point in the last two games, both away from home. But the run leading into those games, we've got Ivan back. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think these are the games that you look at, and especially this time of the season, I think they take care of themselves, really. I think for the players and myself, they really do take care of themselves. We're going to have to put on a very good team performance. It's going to need all 14 players and the ones that come on, obviously. And we can't really have anyone not performing on Saturday.
Yeah, and you think even early on in the season when you had the likes of Sunderland, Ipswich at London Road, the occasion really seemed to suit you.
Yeah, I think we enjoy these games. I think we've shown that. I think most recently, the run we went on, it was all against Ipswich, Oxford, Rotherham, all those sort of teams. So we dealt with that absolutely fine, and I think we really do look forward to these games in the sense that a really good atmosphere. Our fans are always right up for it, and also the time of the season it is and what it means. I think it's one that we quite rightly should be excited about.
Yeah, and I suppose as well it's a marker of if you try to put together a squad of players who like to play football, they can just draw on the energy and the bounce from the crowd and really make it happen.
Yeah, I think it's always better for a player, from my memory, is if there's a good atmosphere in the stadium. Sometimes as a player you're the ones that have to get the crowd up because it's a little bit flat, there's not such a good atmosphere. Whereas I think Saturday that'll definitely be the case with the fact that they'll have probably 2,500 away fans. Well, it looks like we've sold quite a lot of tickets, so I think it'll generate a very good atmosphere, and I think that can get onto the pitch, and I think it can make it easier for players to perform. I certainly felt that way, and I think my message to the players is go and enjoy the challenge that's in front of us. And on Saturday it's a very good team in Portsmouth. We know we go ahead of them if we win. I'm not going to sugarcoat how important it is. We know. The players are not stupid. They know exactly how important all the games are remaining, and Saturday's is a big one.
Yeah, there's no real point in hiding from the pressure such as it is. You've just got to embrace it.
Absolutely, you've got to enjoy it. I think sometimes when you get to this part of the season, I've been in both, where you're perhaps fighting to stay in the league or fighting to get in the playoffs or top two. Obviously we're fighting to get in the playoffs and top two. It's much, much easier than the other way, and I keep saying it, the players enjoy it, and obviously the last two games we've not got the points we wanted, but there will be points dropped by all the teams. It's very, very tight, and I think the players are really up for this and ready for the challenge. I really do. I can feel that in them, and we hope we get a performance, and most importantly we get a win on Saturday.
Yeah, and the home form right throughout the season has been great, but over the past 4 matches to have had 3 4-0 wins, that really is quite special, and rightly you should take big confidence from that.
Yeah, we are confident at home, and we feel we're strong at home. The stats and the results show that, and that's how we approach these games. Our away form has to be better, there's no doubt about that, but the fact that we're still right in the mix is due to our home form. So we go into the game with confidence, but knowing we're playing against a very dangerous opponent, and there's no question about that. So we're going to have to play very well on Saturday to get a win.
Yeah, and we could spend ages speculating as to the permutations and what may or may not happen by 5 o'clock on Saturday, but in some respects, as you've already said, it's simple. You just got to go out there and do your job.
Yeah, it really is as simple as that, and we have to get a performance, a good performance, to give us every chance of getting a win. And one thing I keep saying to the players, and possibly also reminding myself, I know that when we get these performances, we're very, very difficult to beat. We've shown that. The evidence is there to back that up. But of course the players have got to produce performances, and they know themselves in both tokens that if they don't, then we can become unstuck, and we've seen that also this season. So I think the clear message from me to the players is to make sure we keep our performances levels up. We're very good at home, very strong, and we've got to maintain that if we can.
Yeah, and you've got the boost, of course, that Ivan Toney is back, but also Mo getting his goal last weekend.
Yeah.
It's nice to have that in the mix up front.
Well, I totally agree. The Mo thing is very important. You know, he's now got 16 goals this season, 14 I think in the league. So, you know, if he was to bag another 20 for any striker in any league, it's very, very good. So I was delighted for him. I thought his performance was very good, and of course Ivan coming back gives me a decision to make and who I start up front. So whatever way I go, I know I've got a more confident Mo. I know I've got a fresh Ivan. So they're two big pluses.
Is Ricky Jade still a doubt for the weekend?
No, he'll be okay. He's fine. It's just a case of whether we can include him in the squad or not. And you know, I've obviously got others chomping at the bit. I've now got Kanu that can play up front and in different positions. So I've got to be careful with the bench I pick. And you know, young Ricky's been involved in pretty much all season, and I've got to take that into consideration. I've done it a lot with the young players. There's a time when I need to take them out to put them back in. So we'll have to wait and see on that one.
With Reece Brown, you mentioned he picked up a bit of a knock last weekend. Is he okay?
Yeah, no, touch wood, everyone's fine. They look good. They look strong. I think last week's game will bring us on. My worry was always when you have 2 weeks without a game, regardless of what you do with them, in terms of over those 2 weeks, you lose the rhythm of playing every week, and that definitely suited us. But of course we had the break, and I felt mentally we needed to give them a little bit of time off. And I just felt there was maybe a half a yard missing against Burton. But it's very difficult to get it absolutely right about when they have that time between games. I think it is just playing the games. We did have a practice match amongst ourselves, so we tried our best but to actually get up to speed with a normal game is very difficult. So my concern going into the Burton game was that I felt, one, the goal affected us too much, their goal, and two, we just looked a little bit half a yard off. I'm hoping that we're really strong on Saturday physically.
Yeah, and there is a lot to throw into the mix because, of course, for the past 2 away games, the weather's been pretty terrible, and I know you wouldn't look for excuses, but equally back at home this Saturday, weather looks fair. That should make a difference as well.
Yeah, you never look to make an excuse with the weather as a manager. I think that would be the wrong thing to do because both teams have got the same conditions. But it was a difficult game to analyse, the Fleetwood one. It was, given the circumstances, and particularly the first half, because there was areas on the pitch you would normally be able to go into where the space was, whereas with the wind we just couldn't do it. So, but you know, the weather looks better. You would expect the weather now, but the spring's come in. There's been a bit of sunshine, which will help. It'll help the pitch as well. So, no, again, go back to what I said at the start. I'm really looking forward to this game. These are the games that you really want to be involved in, especially at this time of the season.
Yeah, and there seemed to be a good balance to the side last week with Blake Tracy coming in, and I know with the conditions and obviously Ivan not being there makes a difference, but you work the wide areas really well up to a point. I suppose one of the areas you'll be looking at is just a bit more quality. When you've got that space out there, really make the most of it.
Yeah, that was a big thing we went through on Monday morning with the players in terms of we actually worked it into the areas we wanted to, but then it was just we were a little bit too deliberate about getting the ball in the box. The quality wasn't there, so we've done a lot of work on that this week. You know, and you know, there's no secrets to how we're playing at the moment, so Portsmouth will know that as well. But yeah, you're absolutely right. We actually got part A right in terms of what we worked on, areas and players in positions we wanted. It was just the execution of the final bit, which was not up to what we wanted. Set piece wise, we're nowhere near good enough on Saturday for. So you know, we've concentrated on the things that we need to improve on each week, and that's what we've done this week. Yeah,
and it's a nice little option to have with Idris back, that if you want to change things around out wide, stick him on and he can offer something a bit different.
Well, Idris gives you so many different options. He can play up front, plays a wing back on either side, can play as a 10, which he did at Portsmouth and did very well. So he's one that does give us a lot of options. So, you know, that is a big help. I think at this stage of the season, he's fresh as well. So I keep looking at the way we're playing at the moment in terms of physically how I think we look very, very strong, and I think that's really key going into the last couple of months of the season.
Yeah, and you talk about Portsmouth will know what to expect from you. Similarly with Pompey, no real surprises?
Well, they've lost Burgess, their main recognised centre half this season, so they'll have to replace him. They've got different permutations to what they do as who they play as a 9, who they play as a 10. I've watched quite a few of their games, and they have tweaked a little bit in midfield. So we've gone through all that as we normally do. One thing they are is a very organised team, very experienced manager, and some very good players. So listen, they're right up there, as I expected they would be. They would probably have expected us to be as well as we are. So I think there's no hiding place on Saturday. It's going to be both teams having a right go, and we've hopefully just made sure we come out on top.